From the Troon Golf Academy at the Montgomerie Golf Club Dubai. So for Player Development Month, I'm here to talk about some solid fundamentals for putting. I'd like to start off with a little basics on setup and stroke action, and then we'll talk about a station you can use that you'll see many pros use when they're at golf tournaments preparing for their rounds. So the first step is trying to find a neutral setup position. So if I stand side on to you here, I'd like to stand up tall. If I reach my arms out as wide as I can, I'm then going to tuck my elbows into my sides, bring my palms together, take a bend forward from the waist and slightly lower my arms. What this does is it connects my arms to my body and it puts them in a symmetrical position. So all my alignments are set. During my stroke, I can have a symmetrical movement on either side of the golf ball. That's an excellent position to get into. A lot of golfers find themselves contorted into maybe open shoulder positions, closed positions, the foot alignment goes off, and we don't see much symmetry in an action. So I feel that's really important to reset and set yourself into position. Here, I've got a mirror. It's angled at me so I can see it, maybe you can't, but this mirror is set so I can make that same motion, and I can look at my chest. I can see my chest turn the same amount on either side of my stroke. A lot of golfers maybe don't turn their chest on the backswing and they're using the arms too much and then turn and they hit the ball quite far left, or they make a big turn going back, don't really rotate the same amount and they hit big pushes. So if we can find symmetry in our stroke, it starts to give us a very neutral path and a nice true stroke. So that's an excellent exercise. You can even do it at home. You can do it away from the putting green. Just start to learn a bit more about symmetry in your stroke. The next step is, how do you set up a station? So this is my favorite training aid. It's excellent because it's very simple but gives you some great references. The way I've set this string up is I've assessed the slope, so I've worked out where I need to aim. So this string signifies the aim point for the putt. So I'm going to aim down the string and it will break down to the hole. So that's important to establish. The next part is it gives me great aim setup. So I can set up with my feet straight on and square on. I can go through my procedure so I'm symmetrical. I've got an alignment aid for the putter head. But the part that many golfers don't see well is a straight line. So this is great for a visual training. What you can do is start off looking at the string where your ball is and follow it with your eyes all the way down the string to the end. That starts to train you to see straight. It's something simple you could do at home. You could do it on tiles if you have a straight line, and start to follow a straight line. Myself, I'm right eye dominant and see everything to the right, nothing much to the left. So this really helps me with alignment and it will help every golfer that tries it really. It's very important. From there, we want to set up a gate to start the ball on. So once we have good alignments, let's set a challenge so you can start the ball on line. That's what you'll see most of your tour professionals doing on the putting green to start with. So if I place a ball 1 to 2 foot ahead of my ball, I'm going to take 2 tees and place them either side of the golf ball. If you're going for tour level, you leave barely any gap, but let's be a bit kind to myself today. I'll give myself a little bit of cushion so I can roll it through that gap. You can decide how difficult you want that to be. You can start off wide and build it back to a narrower position. So now I've got some reference to tell me if I start the ball on line, which is so helpful when we get to the golf course. So let's hit a putt to start with and see if it starts on line. Square stance. I've got my procedure for a nice symmetrical setup. I'll follow my eyes down the line of the string. So gladly I managed to make it. But what may happen is your ball may hit the tee either side. So some golfers may have quite an in to out path and they'll hit the tee on the right hand side. So this is what you'll see the golfers start to do. The professionals will start putting tees in position to try and guide your stroke. So if I have quite an in to out path, you can see this tee here. is going to catch my putter. So it just gives me a simple reference to try and keep my stroke more online. And then for golfers with pull bias in their stroke, which may go more out to in, hitting the left tee, we can move that tee over to the other side. This gives a really nice reference of a nice stroke, and it's just a simple guide. So you don't get overly technical thinking too much about your stroke, but it gives you a nice reference. Now if you're able to stand and roll the ball through the tees, it tells you you're starting the ball in line. So then you only have to be aware of the read and the speed if you want to putt well on the golf course. This ticks a big box for you. It makes life so much easier when you go play. So I would come down, practice with a station like this. You can makeshift it with 2 sticks and your own bit of string. You don't need a specific training aid. And this really sets you up for good putting fundamentals. The last way you can use this string is to learn how to read putts. So what I did setting up is I hit a few practice putts and established the break. I tried to read it. But then what I did is I set the string aiming exactly where I need to start the ball. Now, it's actually quite good in sessions where I have other golfers try and show me where to aim this. We hit putts and we realize, okay, maybe that's off, and we adjust it. You're just starting to read the putts. You can do that for very slopey putts, for subtle breaking putts, and it really helps you starting to understand how to read your putts. So I think this is a really productive station and can help you going forward with your game. I hope this helps you take your golf forward, sharpen up your putting, and you can putt a bit more like a tour pro. I hope you enjoy Player Development Month and this helps you.